Welcome back to the Charged Up Show. This interview was sponsored by Holistic Hockey. Holistic Hockey offers high-end on-ice skill development. They offer the whole package with skating, stick handling, and shooting. If you're looking to gain an edge for your season, call or text Tyler Ertel at 519-501-2971 or send Holistic Hockey an email. Also, make sure to check out their Instagram at Holistic Hockey. Hope you enjoy this episode.
Please welcome to the podcast former captain of the Kitchener Rangers and Dallas Stars prospect, Riley Damiani.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Good, thanks for coming on.
Not too much. It's actually my brother's birthday, so
we
watch the game tonight and then kind of hang out with my brother, so that'll be good.
Nice. Who you got for the? Have you had any predictions yet, or who do you think's gonna go?
I like Dallas. I like Dallas tonight.
That was my vote too.
Sure.
Pardon?
That was my vote too for we had a prediction last episode and we all I think both of you guys got the other one. I got Dallas for sure.
I think Matt said Dallas too. I took Tampa.
Dallas and seven.
Oh yeah.
So
The way Dallas started, I thought they were gonna be smooth sailing, and Tampa's a good team, so you gotta look out for them. But
So what's that like watching it from obviously your perspective? Like that's your organization, obviously they're in the bubble and everything, but what is that like for you watching? Have you been watching that super closely all playoffs, or are you kind of
you pick up on a lot of things. So like when I went to camp, you kind of see things that they were running, things they wanted to do, and the way they wanted to carry themselves, and then you see it within the game, and every play you kind of know what they're going to do because you've skated with those guys and you've seen them up close. So it's exciting to watch, but at the same time I'm not a fan anymore. I'm breaking down the game now, which is a lot different, but in the end it's going to make you a better player. It's just you sometimes miss watching just as a fan, and cheering for a goal or something like that. So I feel like I'm always breaking down the game, but I love seeing Dallas win, and I'm hoping for them again tonight. So
For sure, yeah, that's pretty interesting to hear too, because I totally get what you mean. Like obviously I haven't gone too far in sports, but even with football, like it's so different when you're actually like watching, the Niners play versus like when you're actually on the field. Like you break down the film and like you're really trying to feed for tips from the pros, right? So that's
exactly cool. Like when you want to make it your career, you want to watch the best do it, and then the way they do it, you got to mimic that. It's all a copycat game, moving up. So you got to just watch, break it down, and then learn from it.
Absolutely.
So obviously we'll get into your career and all, but I kind of just want to talk about this because it's so current and listeners are watching the same series we're all watching, right? Just talk about how good this team's obviously in the Stanley Cup Finals. You've been able to experience every player on that team. Talk about how good they are, and a lot I've been hearing from interviews and analysis, even Spit and Chickel's podcast, is like how amazing their defense are and how quick their defense
It's
are.
unbelievable. Like you're in practice and you have no time and space whatsoever, and that's in a training camp where they just came off the summer, where they're not on the ice as much, and they still have that step, and it's a pretty big jump from junior and lower level hockey up to that level. Like everything's a lot faster. Their D are on you really quick. It's like everything's just happening at a pace that if you're not up to speed, you're totally lost, and it's just not something you keep up with. So when you see them on TV, it almost looks natural that their D are stepping up at the blue line, and they can't get pucks in behind them, and they're not getting odd man rushes. But it's like exactly what they want to do, and it's the exact way they're set out to play. Because guys like Miro on the back end, Heiskanen, Lindell, even Alexiak, these guys are big. They can move. They make plays. So it's a really, really good team, and really quick back end.
It must be nerve-wracking.
Sure.
Just knowing that you have that chance to even play with them, like it's nuts.
Yeah, it's almost like it's there, and it's there for the taking. But then, everyone else is going for the same thing. So just gotta keep your head buried and keep moving.
Exactly.
So before we keep going, so obviously that's going on now, but we also want to get into your career. First, let's talk about your tattoos because I noticed them when we were in the dressing room.
Yeah, I got quite a few.
Got a flannel. You don't got to show us, but talk about why you want, like, what they're pretty cool.
I could show a couple of them, but
what they.
I got my first one when I was 16.
Okay, cool.
So that's my last name, and the 3 triangles. I got 2 brothers, and I'm the middle guy. So that one's filled in, and my brothers have the same tattoo. They just
Nice.
filled in other ones. And then this piece is my most recent one.
Oh,
that is cool. Yeah.
So I did the wolf and then nice little lily flower. And my thing with tattoos, up here I have a compass and a rose. And then I got my ribs done too.
Cool.
Just my mom's birthday in Roman numerals. So my thing with tattoos is like they don't really need to mean that as much as people think. I think they're cool. I think it's a form of art. I've always explained it like people try and have meanings for tattoos. Like, oh, I got a wolf because it means this. But it doesn't, because if that animal was ugly, if it wasn't a good-looking animal, you wouldn't get it tattooed. Like, if it meant the same thing, you would just find a reason to get, like, the really beautiful animals to get tattooed. The lion, like, all those, the nice ones that look really good. So I think if it looks good and you like it, it's on your body, own it.
Oh, yeah.
Looks
Fair.
good.
Yeah,
That's how I kind of think about it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of them. I got a couple more scheduled, so
Oh, yeah.
my left arm and my right leg, that's the plan.
Cool, yeah.
Okay, so now we'll get on the hockey talk and kind of your career. So just run us through briefly before we obviously want to focus on juniors, but what was your minor hockey career like? Obviously, you're from Mississauga and grew up playing in the GTHL, which not many people. It's kind of a KW podcast, so mostly Alliance. But what was your minor hockey experience like in a nutshell?
It was great. I stayed with the same team the whole way through. When it was like minor novice, which is right before AAA starts, I was with the same core group that I played 7 years of AAA with. So sticking with those guys and having those guys all the time was really good. And it was like just a confidence booster knowing like, okay, you're part of the core and you got this leadership role to bring other guys in. And I thought it really helped me growing up. And then, we were a really good AAA team, Rebels team. You could probably look up some stats or whatever on what that team did. We were 2,000 Rebels, so I think it was 6 Craft Cups and 7 GTHL championships.
Jeez.
And 2 OHF championships. So we were when we were younger, like, and then most of us got drafted to the OHL, and I think only 3, 4, 5 of us still played. The rest are just they've stopped playing. Some of them are in school, some of them are just doing whatever, some of them have stopped completely. But yeah, it's like a highlight of my career, just playing with those guys and having that team the whole time. It was a lot of fun. And then I went to Kitchener my 16-year-old year, which was great. I loved it. Loved playing in Kitchener.
You're jumping the gun here. You're jumping the gun. We're getting into it.
Okay.
So, run us through the draft. Obviously, we just want to touch on minor hockey, and then we'll get into the OHL draft. Did you? My thing was from Mississauga. Did you know much about Kitchener?
Yeah, Kitchener's a town that you know about. Kitchener, London, Guelph. There's teams that you know about. Oshawa, even Mississauga, because I was from here. I watched them a lot, but you just you know a lot of teams and you talk to a lot of teams throughout the year, and your agent says, oh, this team is saying this team's saying that, and it's just kind of like all over the place, and then you go for visits at different rinks throughout, of course, your minor midget year. You go, they give you a quick tour, and then you watch a game. And they send you a message after saying, yeah, we really liked me and you, blah, blah, blah. And then you think you're going to that team. And then another team does it. Then you're like, oh, I got to go to that team. And then you're just kind of all over the place. And
Good
I
problem to
didn't
have.
really care. Pardon?
Good problem to have.
Yeah, it was just like, I wouldn't say it was a problem. I just thought it was like kind of weird, because I always got to choose where I was going to play. I just had my group.
Yeah.
But, yeah, then I went through the whole first round and I didn't get drafted, which I didn't think it was very weird, but I thought there was a possibility I went in the first round for the OHL. And then second round came around and couple picks, and Kitchener was very like, I talked to them a lot. They were higher on my list, and I was lucky to get picked at, I think it was 29. I checked out for the OHL. So it's a good spot, and I loved it. I slid into the lineup really easily, and just kind of jolted my career.
Cool. So like kind of like as an outsider's perspective, like being 16 and all, or like whatever age, did you ever like feel the pressure at all? Like, was it ever like an overwhelming kind of like experience at all, or was it pretty smooth?
For me, it was smooth. Like, my parents were never like, you have to do this.
Yeah.
Like, they were never like on me about that. It was just like, yeah, if you like it, do it. You're good at it. So, and if you're enjoying yourself, if you're having fun, then yeah, we're going to support you. And we're going to go through it like that. But it was never like, you have to do it. It's the one thing you have to do. My parents asked me a bunch if I just wanted to stop playing or move down, play another sport. But it was just always hockey from the day I started. My dad's played hockey when he was younger, but not a high level. And he just kind of let me do what I wanted and figure it out, learn from my coaches, learn from the best. And they were just supportive of that. So it took a load off me for sure.
And that drive, your drive definitely showed in your rookie season with over like 22 points. How was that adjustment, like going right into the O and like having a good rookie season, a great rookie season?
It was weird. I didn't really know what to expect. There was a lot more thinking, where I was good at that, but I was good at thinking of the plays that were set out. It wasn't thinking like quick.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the plays, but I didn't know how to do them quick.
Yeah.
So I had to get faster, and that was the main thing, get faster. Then when you get older, you start to get bigger. But in the rookie year, it was, I started the year a little rough. I actually started the year good. My first couple games were good, and then I went on a stretch where I wasn't doing much. I went to U17s for Team Canada, played in that, and then I came back, and things just kind of changed. I had a good tournament down there, and coach took a liking to me, and I just started getting ice. I started playing a shutdown role. I started doing different things where I was playing defensive, but I was also getting a lot of opportunities too. So it worked out really well. I was even on the power play. I got pretty lucky in that sense that I slid into the lineup well, and it was kind of what they were looking for. So
yeah, that's awesome. Was there any like kind of vets along the way that kind of you mimicked like the way you played at all, or any like kind of?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys I look up to. Maskrin, who I'm with in Dallas, and probably in Texas next year together. Mason Kahn was another one. He's at Queen's University now. There's been a lot of guys along the road where you pick up certain things from them. You pick up the way they carry themselves, or the way they prepare, or the way they, rest, whatever it is. So you learn a lot from a lot of these different guys, which is really nice. And then you just got to figure it out on your own too. There's things where you'll do it and someone will think it's the weirdest thing in the world, but if it helps you and it's part of your routine, then I say just go with it. I'm one of those guys, let it happen,
Yeah.
Follow things and figure it out as you go.
So you mentioned the Canada U17 tournament and playing in that, and take us through how cool that was to play. And I know there's a couple Team Canadas, but still, how awesome was that for you to play? And that's kind of your first taste of Team Canada.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. They have a great program down there. It's pretty strict, but you could tell it works. What they do down there is second to none. They win a lot. Then they prepare you for pro and for moving on. So the discipline's definitely there, and I think that helped me as a younger guy showing up there and just kind of being under the gun the whole time and making sure everything's spot on. When I got back to the OHL after that, I was kind of a little bit of a change guy. So it definitely helped, and it was a really fun tournament. You meet a lot of guys from the other leagues too that you just carry friendships with for forever. My roommate actually from U17s got drafted to Dallas the same year as me, and we ended up being roommates again in Dallas. And now we're planning on living together in Texas when we play there together next year. So it's kind of like a friend that I met there, and we just kind of carried the bond, and it ended up working out. So it's pretty cool.
Definitely.
So the next, go ahead, Keith. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's definitely something you'll never forget. Like those are the experiences that will stick with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You always remember them. I actually have a jersey up right now, just Team Canada jersey in my room, and I have a Kitchener one too and a Dallas one. So I got all of them. Dallas one's not in here right now, but I just got them hanging up. It kind of reminds me of just, what I've been through and where I got to get to. So
yeah, all the hard work you put in for sure.
So speaking of memorable experience, obviously you had the draft after your sophomore season in the OHL, and you and our listeners kind of know what I mean. And you hear like the 90 points, 100 points NHL draft rate. You had 37 points, which is obviously awesome in the OHL as a second year. But where did you think you're going to get drafted? Did you think you were going to get drafted? Did you know anything about where you're going to go, the third round, the seventh round? And also, then there's a decision to actually go to the draft, which some people like to go, some people don't like to go. So what was your decision like there too? And then wrap it up with the whole day and the awesome experience it was.
Yeah, so it wasn't out of the ordinary for me to get drafted. So I thought I was going to get drafted, and I know my dad thought I was going to get drafted. My mom was a little iffy on it. She wasn't too sure because she always looked at the OHL as a point league, as a lot of people would. But I did, in my second year, I played a huge shutdown role, and a lot of people that watched and a lot of people that were fans knew that. So I'd play against the team's top players, and I'd have to dump the puck in all the time. I'd dump the puck in every single rush, and I'd just play in the D zone for 30 seconds, get to the red line, dump it in. If we got scored on, that's when we'd start to press. So we could score, but our main role was to shut down. So as a shutdown guy playing against the guys I was playing against, 37 or 38, whatever it was a good number, I thought.
Yeah.
And the other guys were around the same thing, and we did our job. We went to conference finals with that system, lost in double overtime, and we had a 17-year-old and two 18-year-olds playing shutdown, and everyone was just kind of blown away by it. But yeah, my mom was a little iffy on it, and then I said I wanted to go. I was like, for sure, like, why not? It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance, right? Like, if I don't get drafted, who cares? Who's in Dallas too. So we went on the trip to Dallas, and it was just like, yeah, whatever. My mom was a little scared. My dad, we were all getting kind of nervous. And then I wasn't too sure. I was supposed to go rounds 5 to 7, 4 to 7, in that range. I talked to Philadelphia a lot coming up, and they had a pick around in the fourth round, late fourth round, and I thought that was going to be the spot. It wasn't. Then the nerves kind of start to set in. You're sitting there, you got a suit on, and it's so hot in the building, and you're sweating, and you don't know if the camera's on you because you don't know what's on the TV, and it's not as full as it looks on TV. It's pretty empty in there. So it's easy to locate players. So I'm scared. I'm on the camera. I'm sweating. I'm about to sweat through my suit, like just totally losing it. And my dad's sitting beside me. He's nervous, and he's nervous as hell. And this is the funniest story I have. And he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, are you gonna get picked by any of these teams coming up?" And I go, like, "No, I don't think so." One of them was Montreal. I had never talked to them. Dallas, and a couple others. So he goes, "Okay, I'm gonna run to the washroom really quick." And he ran to the washroom. 2 picks later, my name gets called. He's still gone.
Oh
No
Me
way.
and my mom. I gave my mom a hug. Had to go down to the floor, and my dad walked out of the washroom. His hands were drying his hands, and he looked up at the TV screen on the concourse and saw me down on the floor with a Dallas jersey on,
no
and
way.
ran back, but he was too late. So that's a pretty funny story. They made a YouTube running of it too. You'll be able to find it. It's pretty funny. They mic'd me up to go see my dad, which was a nice moment. But that's just the way my dad is. He's just like,
Yeah.
I love it. It's hilarious.
His biggest
It's pretty
regret of
cool.
all time to
Yeah,
go to the
Yeah,
washroom.
even he doesn't really. I don't even think he cares. I think he likes it.
Mm.
I think he likes to
Yeah,
be like,
we'll have a
no,
unique
you
story,
know.
right?
He like saw, oh, Dallas posted something about me. You know, he thinks that's cool. So
It's like the Mitch Marner and his mom, right? His mom was in the bathroom for his first goal in the NHL.
yeah, it's like just something like that. You know,
Pretty cool to have that unique story.
makes that moment like even more unique to.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Which
Yeah.
I think is nice.
So that's a pretty wild story. I think that one's gonna do well for us. But let's get into your first like experience in the NHL or the camps at least. And I know you mentioned before the speed as we were talking at the beginning, and how their defense and everything is such an adjustment. But what is that experience like?
It's cool. It's nerve-wracking, especially my first year there, because right after you get drafted, you're right into camp. So I didn't have my gear on my first camp. I had to get my skates shipped over from Toronto to
That's
Dallas.
true, because you're already in Dallas.
So I was already in Dallas, so I wasn't gonna fly home and get my gear. No one was gonna fly my gear to me, but you can make little shipments. So the biggest thing was, skates. So I had to wear all brand new equipment, new sticks, new everything. That wasn't mine. Didn't feel right at all. You know how you have your own equipment? You have like your own feel on the ice or whatever you're doing. You have your own feel of stuff. And it was awkward, but I got through it. It was okay. They understood. I had like this other gear, and then you play in a rookie tournament too in Traverse City, which is a lot of fun. And then second year, it's scary, but you know everybody, and everyone's just they're all nice guys. They're all really supportive, helping, looking out for you. Like they want you to succeed there, so it makes it a lot easier. It was scarier going into the OHL.
Really?
Yeah, because you're 16, right?
True.
Yeah.
Like, at least when I went into NHL camp, I was 18, 19 years old. I was a little more grown up, and I could handle myself a little better. 16, I'm a little wild. I'm still like a little like younger. Like you're going against 21-year-olds. That's a pretty big age gap.
Yeah. Yeah, true. And especially probably because you already been through that like stage. Like it probably makes it easier, like for you, like going into a new thing with new guys. Like you've kind of already kind of adjusted to that kind of environment, I guess.
Yeah, because you did it in the OHL, so it's you know what to expect, and it's not as much in the NHL, you know, because it's a business then. It's not a hobby anymore. Like people got families and kids, and they don't got time to worry about what Riley Damiani's doing in the other room. Like they worry about themselves, and they just look out for everyone on the same level that they look out for anyone in that room. So it's a business there, and it's better. It's better to learn from.
Now
go on, Matt. following that camp, and then you went into the off season, obviously drafted. I'm assuming that motivated you more because you had that breakout season with 85 points, more than doubling your points from your sophomore year and 6 less games. Like, was that something you did in the off season different? Was it just another year in the OHL, more experience, maybe playing more on an offensive role? Just what was it? Were you more like, I don't, I just want to pick your brain out. Like, doubling your points is a lot, especially when you're already at 37.
Yeah, it was just kind of like a fluky year. We lost a lot of guys to the NHL and AHL because we were stacked in my second year. So we lost like our top 6 forwards. So people were going to have to take those roles. And I was one of those guys that was going to have to take those roles. As a third-year player now, drafted, this guy needs to produce. And that was what I was thinking the whole time. And at the same time, I'm not going to lose my defensive edge, but I had to start putting up points because you gotta score. Like you have to score to win. You can't just play defensive all the time, and someone's gonna have to score. So a lot of guys stepped up that year. Yancey was one of them. He had 50. Hug, Swedish guy. He was on our 4th line in my second year, and it was just, you saw these guys grow and just come up with the game and more power play opportunity, more ice time, more of an offensive role. Definitely has something to do with it, and it's just that's what I was wanting to do going into that year was be more of a point guy, be more productive up front, and I ended up doing that. So
Yeah, and like you said, you were playing with like a whole bunch of like the Swedish guys. Like, is there like when you're in that league, can you find like a difference like playing your game on the ice, like playing with higher level than like in the OHL?
yeah, you could see it, but even the OHL it's a pretty sharp league. Like you
Yeah,
got to make passes, you got to make plays, and it's not easy. It's quick, and if you're not making a pass and it's not a hard pass, it's not gonna work. And
yeah,
you learn that pretty quick. You see 16-year-olds come in and pucks explode off their stick, and even now I go to NHL camp, pucks are exploding off my stick. It's like a slap shot as a
yeah.
pass. You gotta just be able to adjust. And first little bit, it's hard, but then you just move on from that, and you gotta just move with the game.
Yeah.
What do you remember about you mentioned Yancey, however you say it? We should try to get him on. But what do you remember from his 4-goal last game of the season to hit 50?
If you check the stat line, I had 17 minutes in penalties. I fought.
That game?
Yeah. So I jumped a guy that game. My second fight, my first fight, I got dominated. Absolutely dominated by Liam Foodie in my 16-year-old year. And then I fought Carter Robertson that game. Second game of the year, he cross-checked one of our younger guys. And I think I had a couple points in the game already. And I was like, okay, we had a little bit of a lead, so I jumped him. And it was the last home game of the year, so I was like, oh, I might as well fight, like give the fans something else to cheer about. And then I was off in the room, and I think he got 2 on the power play. Like they got a 5-minute penalty while I was in the dressing room, and he got 2 on that power play, I think, or something like that. And everyone just went crazy. It was really cool moment. Whole building up, and we get a lot of fans down there, so it got pretty wild, but it was fun.
Cool. Would
That
you
sounds
say you're
so
not
cool.
afraid to scrap anyone,
No, I'm afraid to scrap. It's a scary thing.
Yeah, I bet. Especially
It gets a little bit. It gets the adrenaline going, but I'll do it. Like my parents hate it. My girlfriend hates it, but I don't know. Sometimes you have to do it.
Yeah,
It's
and
part of the game.
the team aspect of it, right? Like backing up your players, right? That's the whole kind of aspect of it, I guess, right?
Yeah, like obviously, as a smaller guy, you don't want to do it,
Yeah.
but the odd time, if you really have to, and if that's the role you're supposed to play, then yeah, you got to do it. And I respect it.
So then I'm assuming at the end of the season you got your first taste of the AHL with your one game with the Texas Stars. Were you really hoping that you would get a taste at the end of that season? And what was it like? Obviously it's only one game, but I'm sure you took so much away from that.
Yeah, I went down there. I wasn't sure if I was going to get into any games. They had a pretty set lineup, and they were really trying to make the playoffs. We were like right on the edge of making the playoffs, and it was just kind of a tough spot in the year. All the college guys came too. They were a little bit older, but I had an opportunity, and then I was just kind of practicing with them, doing my thing. I was working my ass off, and I was just hoping like maybe I get a game just on the fourth line, get a couple chances, and then second last game of the year, one of the guys got hurt, and last game they said I was playing, so I did warm up in San Antonio the night before, which was really cool. It was at the San Antonio Spurs arena.
Yeah.
It's like you're on the ice and you're looking up at like banners of
Yeah.
San Antonio Spurs, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I did warm up there, then just watched the game, and then I suited up the next night, which was the last game of the year, and I thought I played really well. I thought I created chances. I almost scored early in the game, but was gripping the stick too tight. I was just like pretty nervous, but I thought I held my own. Did my job for the most part, and it was a great learning experience. The whole team was just like very welcoming. There were guys that played there all year, and now they're not playing because these junior guys and college guys come in, and they didn't miss a beat. They were like, okay, that's what we got to do to win. That's
Right.
what the team has to do to win. They know it's a business, and they know winning comes first, which was really cool to see, and it's good to learn from.
Now, kind of wrapping it up, you've been an amazing guest. But for last question, what are you trying to do into next season? And going into next season, are you trying to not only make the team but have an impact? And
Yeah, like,
Yeah, yeah.
what
Well,
are you trying to focus on? Like, what do you need to do personally to be able to have an impact?
I gotta get bigger. That's my main thing. I'm a smaller guy. I don't know what my numbers say online. I try and mess with them all the time, but 5'10".
5'10",
172.
172.
Yeah, so I'd like to be there. I'm not quite there, but that's ideal for me. Maybe a little heavier, but I've been battling a couple stomach things, and just trying to get that weight back on. So it's been a journey. My weight's been up and down. I started last season at 177, so it's doable to get back up there. I just got to keep eating. On like 4 or 5 meals a day, protein shakes. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's like you're stuffing yourself all the time, but
Yeah,
it pays off for sure.
no doubt. Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. We all really appreciate it, and
Yeah,
we hope
really.
all the listeners appreciate it too.
No worries, guys. No worries.